Welcome in folks to another Stalker 2 video on the channel. Today I'm going to be providing you with a helpful guide on how to obtain all 6 unique legendary artifacts that are obtainable within the zone during a regular playthrough. If you're wondering why I'm being specific about that, well, there's technically a 7th artifact which is unique. However, it's only obtainable past the point of no return in the story, so we're not actually going to be covering that here. If you know, you know. So, to give you a bit of an understanding, unique legendary artifacts are exactly that. They're unique, one-of-a-kind items that you can only obtain from anomalous areas. And if you're new to Stalker 2, anomalous areas are also unique as they're separate from all of the other anomalies that you discover across the zone. Each of these unique artifacts will have their pros and cons when equipped, but regardless of that, and if you just like collecting, this guide should hopefully help scratch that itch. Now, before we jump into each of these locations and how to get them, I'm firstly going to provide you with one of the most important tips of all. Before you enter any of these anomalous areas, save your game. Please save your game, as each of these areas will either test you with puzzles or your ability to cope under pressure. And with this list, I'll be starting off with the most easiest to obtain to the most difficult. And for those who already have all of these, you probably know which one is the hardest. But of course, let me know your thoughts and experiences down in the comments. Anyway, enough rambling. Timestamps will be in the description if you need to skip whichever artifact that you're looking for. Coming in at number 1 and the most easiest artifact to find, the Weird Flower. This artifact can be found within the poppy fields just a few clicks west of Zalicia. You might have come here a couple of times just by pure chance, maybe to find a stash or genuinely just to explore, but hidden within the poppy field anomalous area is one blue poppy called the Weird Flower. The location of this is a set spawn, which will be located just a few meters behind the second house on the right. Simply follow this route as to not step into the poppy field anomaly, as it will tend to make you drowsy and then teleport you to a random location within the field. Once you have it, simply make your way out of the poppy field and then you'll have bagged yourself your first unique artifact. The Weird Flower is a great artifact to have early on, as its fragrance will mask your scent and make you harder to detect by enemies. However, its effects will diminish over time, but in order to restore its effects, simply sleep in a bed and the effect will recharge. The next artifact on the list is the Weird Ball. This artifact can be found just east of Zalicia by heading towards this location. Unfortunately, with this artifact, I already obtained this way back when I actually first picked up Stalker 2, so I don't actually have any footage of me picking this up. However, rest assured it will be here. Once you approach this location, you will notice a strange orb or bubble anomaly in the middle of a lake. The orb is basically sucking in all of the air around it and then pulling any movable objects towards it, emphasis on movable. So in order to grab this artifact, you'll need to time your approach correctly. Simply run to the first point of cover, wait for the orb to suck in all the air around it. Once it relaxes or isn't sucking, run straight to the back of the van right beside it. Once it does its thing again, you'll then find the Weird Ball artifact right here. But be quick with grabbing it because you won't have a lot of time to actually pick it up. The Weird Ball is also a great beginner artifact to find, as its benefits will provide you with reduced damage from incoming ballistic attacks when standing still. Moving on to our next artifact, which is the Weird Water artifact. This artifact can be found just north of the Zoltan settlement in the Zaton region at this location right here. Now, in order to obtain this, you will need to approach the Wandering Lights anomalous area during the hours of roughly 11 PM to 2 AM, as these lights won't appear during the daytime and neither will the Weird Water artifact. When you approach the area, be prepared that you will experience the effects of psi radiation, but it won't damage you. However, touching any of the lights will inflict a poisonous burning effect. But the important thing to remember is that the Weird Water can spawn anywhere within the Wandering Lights area, and to make things more difficult, it's kinda pitch black, with only the lights guiding your path. The thing to remember is keep your eyes open on the floor, as the lights will eventually reveal the Weird Water artifact. Again, there's no set spawn, but be patient and look closely and and you'll find it. The weird water artifact will also provide you with the benefit of reduced radiation exposure and damage, but at the cost of being a little bit weak in the knees. So whatever you do, don't jump from any heights too quickly. The next unique artifact is going to be the weird nut. Yeah, all of these artifacts are pretty weird. This artifact can be found directly in the middle of the cooling towers within the Firewhirl anomaly, located directly east of the CMPP. This one may seem a little bit overwhelming at first, considering you'll need to navigate and parkour your way basically past a fire tornado, but rest assured, it's fairly easy. The important thing to remember with this one is to take note of the Firewhirl's travel arc and when you should progress further through the route I'm about to show you. And with that being said, I'll let the footage you're about to see do its thing. You have it. Might seem tricky, but I would probably recommend saving your game prior to entering the cooling tower. You know, just in case if you slip and fall. But the great thing about this artifact is that it promotes rapid blood coagulation when attached to your belt, but the wounds will take a little bit of time to heal. Moving on to the weird pot artifact. Yeah, this one is pretty fun. This artifact can be obtained by heading directly south of the burned forest and east of the Duga, at this location right here within a small house. Seems easy, right? Well, this one is a little bit of a puzzle. Once you arrive at this location, you'll notice a mist anomaly surrounding the house, but before you enter, save your game. Because once you enter, you'll be locked into this location until you can solve the puzzle, but with the help of this guide, you should be fine. Once you're ready to enter, be prepared that you will probably encounter a bloodsucker, so definitely pack a little bit of ammo to take him down first. Once he's dealt with and you're ready to solve this puzzle, you'll notice that the weird pot will be inside of an oven inside of a locked room, with some bookcases and other objects preventing you from getting in. The first thing to do is to run out into the mist, and then you'll be teleported back in to discover a few few things have actually changed. You'll quickly notice that the bookcases and items preventing you from getting into the room will actually have vanished, but both of the doors will still be locked. But that's okay. Simply run back out into the mist and you'll be teleported back in to discover that more has actually changed. Firstly, the entrance to the house will be locked, but the cellar beside the house will now have actually had some of its structure rebuilt, and then also the entrance will be cleared for you to enter. Simply head down into the cellar and make sure to pick up the key located beside the skeleton in the tunnel. And then once you have the key, make your way through the tunnel, which will bring you back up into the house. The door you see immediately in front of you will be locked, but you will be able to break the lock off of the door that's padlocked. Enter the room, and then to the right of you, you'll then be able to use the key to unlock the locked door. When you enter, you'll then notice an entrance to an attic space that isn't accessible. Yes. Head back out of the house and then run back into the mist, which will then teleport you back in. Now, don't worry, this is the last time you'll need to do this, but once you're back, run back into the room where you found the entrance to the attic, and then use the boxes and book cabinets that suddenly appeared to get yourself up into the attic. From here, make your way over to the boxes on top of the destructible wood, and then simply break them all up until you can eventually drop down into the room where you'll find the weird pot inside of the cooker. You can also find some energy drinks and food in this room, but once you're ready, you can then finally run back out and then through the mist and then leave the anomalous area. The benefits of the weird pot is that it reduces hunger and makes it take longer for you to become hungry. However, you can sometimes experience damaging psi hallucinations. Now, on to the final and probably most challenging artifact to obtain, the weird bolt. This artifact will probably have some of you pulling out your hair from frustration, only if you don't follow this guide to a T. Doing this going in blind is definitely a frustrating one. In order to obtain this, you'll need to make your way to the Tornado Anomalous area located west of the Yanaf train station. Believe me, you won't miss this one. I mean, it's a giant tornado. When you arrive here, and similar to the Firewall tornado, you'll need to observe the tornado's travel arc and where the tornado is moving to. But unlike the Firewall, you won't be trying to avoid this, you'll be going directly into it. Yep, you heard me right. Now, obviously, if you just run into the thing, you're going to be insta-killed. There's no way around that. One tap from this thing and you'll be racking up the death tolls. But to save you from the frustration, simply run directly into the shed located left of the base of the crane, which has a small anomaly field at its base. Now, in order to do this, you'll need to wait until the tornado passes over you, but then as soon as it does, give it a couple of seconds and then run straight out into the center and prepare to get your parkour on, because you'll need to climb on top of all of the train cars and then make your way to the top of the crane while following the eye of the tornado. Again, just watch this footage and take the same route as I do, and then we'll pick up from there. Okay, so once you arrive at the base of the crane, run straight up to the top and immediately turn around, and you'll need to be super quick about this because the weird bolt will be flying towards you. Grab it and then immediately jump down into the anomaly field below you and then run straight back into the shed until the tornado has passed over you, and once it has, make your way out of the station. The unique effect of the weird bolt is that it will reduce damage taken from anomalies that you stand in, but regardless of the effects, you'll have finally collected all 6 of the unique artifacts in the game. However, that's everything for today. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on your experiences collecting all of the artifacts in the game, and which one was your favorite to collect or even the most difficult. difficult. If you're new here and you found today's video informative, consider giving the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss out on future videos. To our channel members and subscribers, thank you for your continued support and helping the channel to grow. Until next time, stay safe out there in the zone, welcome to Vault 93, and I'll catch you all in the next video.